Hey, everybody. It's Kerry Zubat here from the Awakening Collective. And today, me and Bryce are going to be talking. I'm just waiting for him to join into the group. I'm really excited about this little talk. We have some great conversations. So we thought, hey, let's just talk to each other like a normal conversation and then share it with the group. And I'm hoping you really kind of like what's happening with that whole thing. So anyways, hope you're having a good Saturday morning. There was some rain here in Vernon, and something about a fresh start in the morning. Like with the rain. Uh, some things have been going kind of haywire for me lately. Kind of got some injuries going on, and I was supposed to play soccer this morning, but everything happens for a reason. So here we are. Me and Bryce are going to do a little kind of talk together. So hopefully he joins us soon. And I just want to tell you that this group has been pretty awesome. There's been some good participation. Really love the fact that there's some really good time to just really share and have a safe place to speak and to vent sometimes and to encourage one another. I like the happy hour that we have. That's been a really good thing going on. It's good to laugh. It's good to dance. It's good to get those vibrations up higher where we can be more of our true self. Here comes Bryce now. So enough of me talking. Okay. So here comes Bryce, and hopefully this tech stuff will go a little smoothly. We tried this the other day, tell you the truth. It didn't. We don't know where it's it's out there in nowhere land, our recording, so we can't seem to retrieve it. So this is our second attempt, and hopefully it goes a little bit smoother. Hi, Bracer. How you doing this morning?
Good. Yourself?
Good. I don't know if you're frozen. I guess you're working good now. So here we are. We're going to be talking to the group today, and I kind of gave a little introduction while we were waiting for you to come on, telling about how we had a little bit of a little glitch trying this the other day, but we are trying it again today, and everything happens for a reason. And here we are. So since I was talking so much, what would you like to say to the group this morning?
Just like good morning and just lovely to have you guys participate and come together as one and to just our loving hearts and open God mind to seeing truth and spreading awareness and love and forgiveness for us to heal and to just expand our consciousness to evolve. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I like the word. When I was, back in my religious days, I really had real trouble with the word evolution, because, that's totally against, God creating us and all that stuff. So the word evolution to me was like, but I like the word evolve now because I think we are always evolving as I've grown and expanded my consciousness. And it's not like we're changing our body parts or anything, but it means our minds are expanding and evolving. And and then what happens, our heart starts to get involved, and as we understand our heart and the rest of our body, and then we understand that we're all one, so all these things start to expand, and it's really awakening. And that's what this group's all about, is awakening and expanding all these ideas. And then not only just with ourselves, we start with ourselves and with God, but then we become one with everybody, and we expand together in consciousness. And I think there's a real gift to that. So what do you think about that?
No, I think it's exactly that's an eye opener, I'd say, because it's like like you're saying, like you're taught evolution in school, but everything, like if you're coming from a religious side, it's all like that's not right or doesn't make any sense, like the Big Bang Theory and all that. Like I think that's a little, I don't know where that revolves around, but the whole idea that like taking away that spirituality out of our our true reality, and so it can lead us down like that's completely confusion and like but just like the whole part where like it like makes sense over time that we're like becoming more conscious or more higher, like we're becoming more evolved from learning when you bring in spirituality into it, it fulfills that consciousness, because it's like you come here or you go to other places for a soulful experience, but that's to expand our consciousness and so forth. And so if we come here on earth and we're having this huge awakening, it's like we've been doing this process for a while. And
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
it's like when you look at higher density beings, say, like that's like where they came from. They over time evolved to have more awareness of of their spiritual self and who they are, and what the universe is about, what our real reality is about. So it's like from your local stage, you got to start with that negative polarity, more third dimensional polarity, um, to get that opposite contrast, so that we can evolve as a civilization, or as like a race, over time. That yeah, it's once we remember more, we evolve more. So
Yeah, we're sure living in exciting times if you think about it. Like really we are, because there's been a build up to this time right now. And there's so much going on in the world right now. And just the opportunity to be part of this all and to experience it, because I think we're just, as we're shifting into the fourth dimension, like what exciting times from going about from the self to serving others and to love out of hate, away from ego into the God mind and who we really are and our power. Like, I couldn't be a more exciting time to be a part of all this. And,
yeah,
to miss it, it's kind of really sad, of course. So when we talk to our friends and our family members and they look at us, like, deer in the headlights, like, hey, what's wrong with you guys, right? But that's part of it. And I'm just glad and grateful to be on this side of things. And like, I'm getting older, but I'm glad I didn't miss it, you know, and I'm just really trying to soak it in. And so speaking of world events, what's happening right now, Bryce, what do you think? What's really happening in the awakening stages in all these world events right now? How can we see how they play a part in everything?
well, I can see, since there's like lots of exposure of truth happening, it's coming to this climax. Like, say, from last year at this time, like we weren't at all really this far, where how many people were speaking about it, say, like even on media, or the like counts on things, even like that can be kind of an example, or um what do you want to say, evidence that
Mhm.
there's like more people on like this side of the teeter totter now. And you can tell that the system is trying to push harder and harder on these like mandates or these rules, because they know that the masses are waking up more and more, and they can't do anything about it. So kind of do by doing everything to their power to do anything they can to the last moment they can stand, because they know that their time is done, and they're all these paradigms, their systems made up is starting to collapse. And see nursing come out in big groups and show that they actually are on our side, or they see the truth, they see the corruption. And so you're trying everything you can. You listen to the narrative on the news, say, and they're trying so hard, like every little thing they try now, they'll say, and they'll try to twist it to them not looking like, say, Vernon, BC here, there's a protest at the hospital, or Kelowna that was, and they said that they're doing all this like crazy stuff to block people coming out of the hospital, or um like ranting on like the other like hospital staff and stuff. Like they'll like that might be like maybe say like a little bit of people, but like there's like that whole thing. I'm pretty sure it wasn't like not peaceful. It was probably peaceful. And then you look at like say other big cities, like there's huge masses. Like in Montreal, even like coming out of like Canada, like you see it in France, or like say Australia, like
Brazil.
yeah, great though. And they don't even show on the news. They don't, and then they make fun of these little, or like their smaller mass protests in Canada, say, but like they're places where like they know where they're more used to seeing like the kind of power from communism or from that kind of government. And like so many people are awake and they're on the street like showing what's happening, but they're doing everything in their will just to like censor it, not show anybody what really was. We're all part of the same goal here. It's not like we're all like voting for something different. Everyone around the world is voting for freedom for the same message, and it's funny just to see it because I think it's a backfire. I think it wakes people more up because they're like, wow, that didn't my friend lives in Brazil showing me this video, or I see this video online now. And it's like the news doesn't show that, or they don't talk about it. And they say this complete different story of people that were at these events. And they're like, wait, that's not true. So it's like, it's like starting to really reveal itself. So
I remember going to Costa Rica, Bryce, and pretty like I was on unawakened. I was awakening a little bit, but like totally nowhere close to where I am now. And watching some videos how the 1% power is involved, and getting to meet some people out in Costa Rica that were really a gift to me and sharing me the truth what was happening around the whole world. Because when you're wrapped up in your own job and your own life, like when I was back in Canada here, you kind of get lost in the hamster wheel, right? And and it's hard to awaken because you just don't even have time to even have a moment to take time and meditate. That was a new thing for me in Costa Rica, to really to have that mind slow down enough, where the heart can get engaged and where I can
yeah,
connect with my creator, with God and the Holy Spirit and Jesus, the whole thing in my meditations, and for me to be revealed some cool stuff, and every day was a gift of awakening. But just to see all the things that are out there that we are being deceived by the negative polarity. And we talked about this the other day about negative and positive polarity, and it's not like it's our enemy. Just like the yin and the yang, we kind of need to see the dark in order to know what the light is. And if we want to be all about love, and we want to be about peace and joy, that whole thing, encouraging others, service to others, uh, bring us all together as one, then we have to see the darker side. We have to see the negative polarity in order to know which direction to go and to expand our consciousness and to bring our brothers and sisters with us because they're one, right? And
yeah,
so it's really important that I think for me and hopefully the whole world to understand that we're not to go out and hate is putting ourselves, our vibration back into the negative polarity away from the positive polarity. So Aaron Apke had a great video, and I talked about it the other day. It's funny, we're on the same mind wave about it's like a circle, like in the center of the circle, like a dartboard, is where we are our true selves, right? It's who we really are, and that's where love is, that's where peace is, that's where happiness is, that's where the true divine is. That's where everything is, where we're supposed to be. But as we get pulled into the world more, or pulled into our self-pity, blaming, victim, being a hero kind of guy, then what happens, we start going outside of that center of the circle. We start expanding outwards away from who we are. We start putting on more masks. We start getting more material minded. All that other stuff starts coming into play, and then we even get to a point where we don't care about others whatsoever, and we're willing to walk over them, and then we're right there with the negative polarity. So it's a very important thing, especially through meditations, to look at yourself. Where am I in the circle, right? And I think was valuable for me to really know that, okay, I'm a little bit, I'm outside here. I need to get back in there. So
yeah.
anyway, what do you have to say about that?
No, that's perfect because yeah, exactly. Just now you're awake with the God mind, you're starting to see like all the programs or patterns, the emotional conditioned that you grew from your ego, making like beliefs um and just the way you react to things. So it's
Yeah.
like now that you're on that, like that you're on track and things, you can start to purify your situations in your life and be aware, conscious of how to act on these situations to like break patterns, old patterns and chains, even family chains and stuff like that, so you can like heal and move on. But
Yeah.
it's an ongoing thing. So it's like you're you definitely be facing it more, but now it's like you got these tools equipped. So it's like you won't be like all the suffering that you've had before. Now you won't be suffering because you know that it's not you, and things that brought that in your life. Now you can take control of and take your power back But it's definitely interesting for sure because you're trying to move that in with like, the shift that's happening in your life, like things that you normally did that you don't do anymore, or stuff that you had interest in maybe anymore, and people that you want to relate to now, and then people that you don't relate to anymore because they don't understand your perception of reality now that you're more awake. And so,
Yeah.
especially being like really spiritually awakened, I'd say, because that's the most difficult because um, it's like you're trying to cope or uh, reconfigure a newer lifestyle. And when people try to understand that and try to like, they'll may say things, I feel like that they make sense out of their perspective with how they perceive your reality. And then it's just, you kind of almost want to explain it to them. So it's just like, it's just funny. I feel like it's just this confusion I feel that happens sometimes. And so you have to do the best you can by just talking to people that feel and resonate the same way as you do. And also don't blame yourself for anything. But
Right.
like, so like when situations do happen, say, it's not like you don't like being partaking in like, say, more third dimensional reality mentality or whatever, but it's like you will put up with it for so much, and then you need boundaries. Like I feel like you need boundaries with everything now. If people are, like maybe you have to explain to some people so they kind of make sense, but you might look more like an introvert. But I feel like I'm like, it's like an ambivert thing. It's like you can either be very extroverted or be very introverted. So it's like if you're on each side farther on each of those spectrums, it
Yeah.
means that maybe that you need like a balance. I feel like you need the middle where you can be with yourself and do self-development and also enjoy who you are and figure that independence, and then where you're not so codependent on people. And but then I figure, very extroverted, and it's just like you're going to be very distracted and very like, so it's like there needs to be that middle, but like, so it's like to um process that back into your new reality, that things that have changed. It could just be very interesting, it can be very frustrating, it can be very lonely sometimes, but at the same time you're not, because you're talking with people that relate the same. It's just this whole change, right? So it's just you have to kind of adapt. It's fun though, it's good. Even after all that intensity, because it's growth, but like you feel free, you feel on top, because it's like way more than you were before, because like now you have this grasp on reality and your life and how to like um be your own king, I like to say, because once you take that stand, it's like nothing can phase you anymore. You know what you want. You know where the light sides on. So decisions are easier to make, and also you're more conscious of decisions that you were to make before that are like, no, I know what that brings. So it's like it's a huge guide into um, your human experience, and to live it more purely and to see things like with so much more truth and clarity. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. You're right, Bryce. It just kind of made me think about like when we do talk to people, right? That is a little bit of a challenge, and like how do you approach them? And then you talked a little bit about being an extrovert, introvert, ambivert, which is, getting your energy from being quiet if you're an introvert and being alone. And also if you're an extrovert, you want to be with people, right? So then you get your energy that way. And ambivert is kind of like in the middle. Well, there's also the personality colors which come into play. Like some people are blue personality, they're all about the heart. So when you're talking to them, and if you talk the heart language, love and feelings and all that stuff, they're going to understand where you're coming from. You're going to have a little bit more of a door opener to be able to talk to them about awakening. But if they are a green personality, which is knowing all the facts and figures, they're going to not know what you're saying at all unless you give them some facts, right? And you give them some, maybe talk about quantum physics and maybe talk more about the science around the awakening, because there's tons of science, which is really amazing that science and, our faith, God reality has come together, and then they're like glue. They really reinforce each other now with this new modern science and quantum physics. And like we watched a Matthias Diaz, I think his name is, from Gaia. That was a really good series. I really kind of tell you how it really works in the science world, and it goes right back to the history of time. So I really like that. Then there's the gold people. You know, they're all about the rules and the regulations and being safe. You know, they're all about a little bit more about the control. So it's very hard to talk to them about awakening. I mean, they don't want change. So they don't want to change their mindset. They don't want to, so it's really harder talking to a gold person on it. The gold people are more of those kind of people that are out there, you know, uh, I guess you'd say on the other side of the, you know, the V, you know, because they want to be safe, right? And so they get more caught up in following all the rules and regulations that are being put onto us right now, not knowing that the 1% behind a lot of that, the negative polarity. So the golds, you can get through them if they have a second color of being blue, or you know, if they have a different, there's orange. If so, if they have a second color being orange, orange is more about risk taking, and orange is about, you know, being adventurous, and you know, they want everybody to come together and play, right? And they love, you know, competition a little bit, and they love conflict. So, you know, so they're going to get in the discussions with you for sure, and they might not be pretty because they want to win, but that's when the ego comes in, and then you can understand, okay, the ego is coming into play here. And ego is such a big thing to realize what's happening in when you awaken, that you have this ego mind and God mind. Like you might just hear about it and just, you know, put it to the side, which I kind of did when I was back 10 years ago, starting to learn about what ego was. But now that I know truly what ego is, it's something that's totally going to be taking me away from who I am and love. Like it's all about the fear, all about the control, all about things that separate us, right? And so the ego mind is definitely something to work on. Um, I put a little post out today, the other day, to the group that awakening is evolving, awakening is dissolving, which is a lot of that dissolving the ego, dissolving the self. So you can start understanding that we are all one and we're all love and we're all peace, right? So that's a good thing. And when you're talking to people out there, you have to kind of know who you're talking to and how to talk their language, and that'll help a lot in the process of sharing your light out there, right? And in love, instead of, you know, getting into a bash of, you know, who's right and who's wrong, which never seems to be a win-win situation. So anyways, what else would you like to say about that, Bryce?
I'll say just the part of awakening, because especially the first stages of it, like what I was just talking about and you're talking about, but getting past that point where, like, say before your situations, you need to understand them first, and then you get into the situation, and you're like, oh well, my ideas have changed now about this. It's like you're almost like your your perspective on things kind of changes or more than before. So it's like something before where you didn't really think um you agreed on, maybe that you agreed later on down the road. Like and it's a little bit more different because like when you're in, you know, you got your God mind awareness and stuff. It's just like it's like all about transcending things that say like this, like I'm making a character before that you made, that you gave it a negative belief or that revolved around all these things that you put in your life, but now it's like, so you might like back away, or then also down the road no longer you're saying, well no, I kind of made these beliefs about it and all this, but I definitely make more healthier approaches to this or make more better decision about this, and then it's like full suffering and control releases off of it, and it's like more something you accept in self. So it's like doing a self inquiry and like um inner work. So it's like you're healing that shadow and accepting that shadow that you create, and even on things that like you can move past on. So it's like you don't have to touch it, but you can now love it. Like say if there's like some sort of like friction, or say like some sort of like conflict of say sort of something like that, but like um or like a trigger, sorry to say, like say if you have a trigger for someone or something, you all of a sudden learn how that trigger was rooted, and then all of a sudden it doesn't phase you as much. So next time that something happens like that, you're just kind of like, oh, I know, like whatever, right? But it's just like you may not agree with it still, but it's just like, no, that's your reality. That's not my reality, right? And that's love that you're experiencing this reality because we're all here to have different perspectives and um, live those realities. Even though, like you were saying, like the negative polarities, like that's how we have to accept the negative polarity, right? So it's like they're here on their mission to have that experience and to do with all divine timing of this huge shift here on Earth. But it's like so like you have forgiveness, it sets you free. So it's like that you're accepting, and as everyone is who like you were all the same. We're just all here in different form. But that would really help. It really like shifts your mind and so you don't carry all the baggage, all this bad beliefs that you get things. Um that can create that reality. So it's like you will keep repeating in your mind.
Yeah. So I don't know, Bryce, we're having some technical difficulties. I don't know if you can hear me, but you're kind of freezing
So
up.
you pass that lesson. Like,
I don't know
oh,
I don't
what's
know
the
if you
part?
can hear me. You're kind of freezing up a little bit. I don't know if your Wi-Fi is going off and on, but so we kind of missed that little last part of what you were
Okay.
saying.
Well, do you know what?
Sorry, buddy.
What's my last few words? Do you know, or
Well, I think instead of just talking about that, maybe we'll just maybe talk about oneness a little bit before we close her down, right? What oneness is all about. And so what you were saying is that when we come into knowing and we get into conflict, if we can understand that what true oneness is that they are actually ourselves in other bodies, right? That we are all souls and our souls are all connected as one. And so if we can look at our neighbor or our enemy even as, hey, that is me in a different body with a different kind of like growing like history, right? Growing up, childhood traumas, whatever happened in their lives, they are acting the way they are acting because of what's going on. They best their with their knowledge, what they've experienced. And I would be doing the same thing if I was in their shoes, right? To understand
yeah,
that they are really me, just having a different experience. And I am them having a different experience. And how it works with not only people, animals, aliens. Like we're talking about UFOs the other day too, they're positive polarity. So that's a lot reason why we don't see a lot of them. They can't even join us yet as one yet to get connected with us because they have to be in positive polarity. So we need to evolve into that. But to see that we cannot, if we attack our neighbor or our enemy, it's attacking ourselves because they are us, just having a different experience. Like, I don't know if you ever watched Netflix, the series Loki. I just loved it. He lands on this planet and he's with all these different people, but they're all Lokis. They're all him in a different body, different form, different experience. One's a warrior, one's a woman, one's a little child. There's all these different people, but they're all him. And it's really cool. I even fell in love with this lady that was him. But it's like a little twisty. But once you get the concept that we're all truly one, we truly are, and that we're there to bring us all together eventually, and that's how it just really becomes beautiful. Like, and that's heaven on earth. And so that oneness is important.
right.
And so when
Well,
what's
I
that?
don't think
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bryce, you're really breaking up. I don't know what it is. It's just we're not getting you.
I was gonna say you're about like a minute like that too.
Oh, was I? Damn, damn,
Went
technical.
on like very slow leg.
Damn, eh? Last thing we want to do is have technical difficulties. Yeah.
This, and take another. Yeah, yeah. At least and though because part of it was pretty good. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Okay. It's all good. It's just what it is, right?
It is what it is. We just got to take what we can get right now. And I have a feeling as they censor everything more and more, it's going to get more and more difficult to even do stuff like this. And so I just I have gratitude. I'm grateful for what's happening right now and how we can share with one another. And gratitude is something big that we need to hang on to in order to keep us in that positive polarity, to keep you that upper mind state, the vibration of, who we really are, get us closer to that circle again. So gratitude, important to do gratitude every day. Everybody should have a little book or something and write 10 things that you're grateful for in the morning, and maybe at night 10 things that you're grateful for before you go to bed. Really will help you with this process and help your immune system, because it's right now it's important that we all stay pretty healthy, and we do have the power. We just have to believe in that.
Yeah, that's I agree. I saying like because all that stuff we were just talking about, set your mind free, and when you set your mind free, that'll like clear your mental illness and then the way your body functions and the way your mind processes. You'll have your health back and clarity back. So it's just 100%. It's just like I think the full spiritual awakening and just like such a big blessing. Like I don't know if anybody might perceive it as far as that we've experienced, but I know many have others because what we've listened to. But it's just like it's altering, life changing, and you don't really have to explain to anyone because people won't understand it until they are in it. So, and yeah, it's awesome, but it's just interesting. But I'm more than happy that I'm in it now. So
Good, good. Yeah, it's good to have everybody just on board, and I just really encourage everybody to continue to post and be out there and really share your heart. Get it out. If you're struggling with something, get it out. Get that darkness out, and then we'll just love on you, and support you best we can. So secrets. There's no nothing comes good out of secrets, right? That just keeps you with your ego, and you might need to share some stuff that you're really struggling with. And I think this is a very safe group, and it's confidential. And I just encourage everybody to just keep what you ever read or hear to yourself, and invite people that you might know that are like-minded. It's kind of nice if they get a little piece of this too. We're all one. We don't want to leave anyone behind. So I think we'll end with a prayer, if that's okay, Bryce. Is that okay with you?
oh yeah,
Do you want to say it, or do you want me to say the prayer?
I think you should.
Okay.
I'll touch it later, but I like when you're doing pretty
Okay.
on. So
All my prayers are meditations a little bit. So I just encourage everybody just right now, just close their eyes and, take some deep breaths, maybe for, 5 seconds in, and then hold it for 5 seconds, and then breathe out for 5 seconds, and do that 3 times in a row. And just to keep you in your mind, in the the moment, the stillness of the moment. I call it the holy instant moment. Just put yourself in that place while you're breathing. So let's start and do this 3 times. Okay, I'll kind of just get us started. Breathe in for 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now do this 2 more times without me talking and distracting you. Now that our minds are more quiet, more still, we're more connected. May just the love of the oneness, love of God, just totally cover all of us, because we are love. That's who we are. We are loving awareness. And we ask that we can go through this journey ahead being that, showing that, being the light, to not be judging at all, to not be getting caught up in the ego. We ask that we encourage our friends and we take on the negative polarity with appreciation instead of conflict. And that we understand that we need them in order to turn to the light and be positive ourselves. And they have a role and we have a role. And eventually they will see the light and they will change themselves, but only that way. So may we understand that, not try to take too much control. May we just really love on one another and be with one another. And may this group be blessed. May we live in gratitude. May we live in a place where there's peace. May we live in a place where we're healthy, because our bodies can be healthy if we're in that state. And may we just totally be, reminded when fear comes in the door that we're getting away from the center of the circle. If we're starting to worry or have anxiety, we're away from the center of the circle. So thank you for being together. And I just ask that everybody just take a nice deep breath in right now and seal it on your heart, this prayer. And all together, breathe out. And I'd say Sila, which is amen or yes to that prayer. You can now open your eyes. And thank you so much for joining me and Bryce today. Bryce, you want to say anything as we say Saranara or Pura Vida? What would you like to say to the group?
Much love, and just take care and keep God's armor on, and stay wise, and stay in your hearts.
Right on. Okay. We'll do this again, guys. Hopefully with less technical difficulties. Bye for now.
Hi.